My name is Angelica Villagrana. I'm the president of the Artists Guild. The Artists Guild is the oldest support council of the San Diego Museum of Art. Founded in 1915, we helped form the San Diego Museum in 1926 in partnership with business. We currently have approximately 120 members. We host 3 exhibitions during the year. We give our members the opportunity to show their work during monthly Zoom meetings, and we promote our members through our website and Facebook. During the past 2 weeks, we hosted our fall membership exhibition at Gallery 21 in Balboa Park. It was also online during the month of September. We received 188 submissions, and our juror, Julie Weaverling, selected 54 works. 2 of them were online only. I also would like to say that we use the blind jurying process, which means that Julie did not see the names of the artists when she looked at their works. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our juror, Julie Weaverling, the director of Front Porch Gallery, a nonprofit gallery in Carlsbad, California. She is also an artist. She's represented by ucgallery.com. Her work has been exhibited nationally, internationally. She's been featured in several books, and she's represented worldwide with fine art publisher Image Conscious. She's also an artist member, mentor, speaker, and teacher. So I think she will also talk to us a little bit about her project, The Lift the Sky, after we're done with introducing the show. With that, Julie, let me pull out the PowerPoint, and it's up to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, number one, for inviting me to be your juror. It's really been my pleasure, and I've enjoyed this whole process so much. I do really enjoy jurying shows with my work at Front Porch Gallery. Of course, I curate shows constantly, and I just love all things about art. So just a little brief addition to what Angelica already had said about me. In my work with Front Porch Gallery, I also do a lot of arts programming for Front Porch retirement communities. We're a nonprofit gallery that is an outreach program from Front Porch, and we support the artists and creativity in 19 retirement communities throughout California. So I do both online Zoom teaching and workshops and creativity projects, as well as traveling to the communities and do in-person workshops and tour exhibitions as well. So it's been a fantastic learning opportunity, and during COVID in particular, we were able to really ramp up things online, and we started doing group projects. We were creating kits to send out to residents. We would also start working on collaborative projects, and so lots of experience with all kinds of art. I'm a true believer that art creates community and that everyone is creative, and sometimes all we have to do is start. So with that, let's start here. I will say that I was so happy when after jurying the works online, when I got to the Gallery 21 to select the awards, wow, it was just an absolutely gorgeous show. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the way that I generally like to jury shows, and particularly if it's online, doing the jurying online itself. So what I do is I go through every, in this case, 188 submissions. I'll go through those submissions 2-3 times just to get a really good feel of all of the art is there. And then I'll come back, and what I'll do is I first start selecting work that I feel just is so strong it must be in the show. And then I will go through and make decisions on pieces that I don't think are going to work for the show, and we'll take those out. So that will leave us then with a huge middle ground of pieces that I feel are strong enough to warrant being in the show. And then it's kind of really a process of elimination and going through, picking, really examining the work closely and trying to pick the strongest pieces. Ultimately, I also try to put together a beautiful show so that, as they say, the sum of the parts is greater. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And so each of the artworks selected, I feel, is worthy of being in this exhibit and probably most others. And then when you put it all together and the way that it was hung, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So thank you for that. And with that, I think we can start. We'll just give a little information about the selected winners. Okay, we are starting with our 3 honorable mentions. And our first piece here is Flat Rock at Torrey Pines, Etching and Aquatint by Julianne Ricksecker. Now, Angelica mentioned that we use a blind jurying process. However, I will say that I knew immediately and recognized that this was Julianne's work, and I'm a fan of her work. And I particularly love, I love all of her work, but I love her etchings. And maybe because I have no idea really how to do that myself, and it's a bit of a mystery, which I like. But I love what she's done here, the composition. At first glance, there's a simplicity to this piece. As you look a little bit deeper and closer, there's so much going on in the water, in the trees, in the sky, in the cliff. And the coloring is absolutely gorgeous. You'll hear me as we go through this. I'm super focused on design and value as the sort of key ingredients that I'm always looking for in a successful artwork. And this piece certainly has that. And the color is just, it's just sublime, really. It's just so lovely. So I think those are my comments there, and let's move to the next one. Okay, this honorable mention is by Mick Young Osborne. It's called Sunset in LA, Oil on Canvas. I think that what you're looking at on the screen is a little bit more saturated than the piece in person. The piece in person, it's just beautifully, it's painterly, the colors are wonderful. The composition is very strong, and you can see the lights and the darks that just give this a really, it's almost a vintagey, impressionistic. It's realistic, but completely, it's just lovely, just absolutely lovely. Okay, we can move on. Our last honorable mention is by Jeff Pressburg, and this is Yellow Rose, Oil on Canvas Panel. Happily, we find that this piece actually sold, I think, the day the show was hung, which is really fantastic. This is a smaller piece. I just am a sucker for this type of simple still life, And this one is just so beautifully done. Again, the composition, the lights and the darks, I mean, your eyes just go right to that flower, the light, the shadows that are coming off of the vase, and the color is just gorgeous. It's a small little piece and it's just packs a punch, very dramatic with its simplicity. And that's not always easy to do, as I'm sure most of you know. So it's a little gem. Let's move on. Okay, our third place award goes to Elaine Harvey. This piece is called Returning Light, and it is water media. When I first saw this piece in my first round of looking at the submissions, it just jumped out at me. It jumped out at me because of the color, and I'm definitely a fan of blues. But then upon looking at it again and again, there's so much going on here. I also am a person who, really loves to look at works that have a lot of layers. And the layers here, the way that she's combined her colors to create this, it's almost a kaleidoscope. And you feel a sense of returning light. And there's also a sense of flight for me. There's a sense of a wing and a lightness, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And looking at it in person with beautiful light, there's so much for your eye to move around and see. Again, we're looking at a super strong composition with the darks and lights, very expertly added in to move your eye around. And this is, such a key thing. It's so interesting when artists, as so many of the pieces in this show shown, that not stopping too soon, continuing with the piece and really taking it to its full potential. I feel like that was definitely done here, and congratulations to Elaine. Second place award, congratulations go to our host, Angelica Villagrana, for Laura at Night 2. This is a linoleum block print. Angelica tried to convince me to not select her work, but the work just called to me and it needed to be selected. So that was the way it was. Again, the composition is just so strong. The colorations are so bold and simple. The darks and lights are just incredibly perfectly placed. And the subject matter is just stunning. And you don't exactly know what the story is of Laura and where's she going at night, but you can kind of you can come up with a lot of different ideas about what time period is she from and what is she doing out there. But the combination of these blues, the black, and the well, it's not quite white, but let's just say white, is just such a strong pattern, and it's just very dynamic. It's a dynamic piece that's, I think, just absolutely gorgeous. I particularly love the way Angelica has had the composition go off the page on the right, rather than have that full left shoulder and the top of the hat on the left. If that was all just in the center, it just wouldn't have nearly the power that it does by letting the composition move a little bit off the page. The design is just absolutely beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Congratulations go to our first place award, John Olenek. His painting Man in Ticking Fabric Shirt is Oil on Linen. And when I saw this on the first pass, looking at the submissions, I was just like almost flabbergasted. I just thought, wow, I mean, that piece is just so strong. Visually, it just immediately makes you just think, like, what is going on here? And so I saw it a couple times. I instantly knew it was going to be in the show, and I really did have a strong feeling that it was probably going to be, it was definitely going to at least be a winner, if not for the top prize, because it comes across so strong. Again, the composition, the darks and the lights that move your eye around are really absolutely incredible. The color is so interesting in this piece. It has a very almost very classic Renaissance color palette, but yet it's this very contemporary painted piece. And it's so interesting how when you are looking at this piece, it may be coming across at first as completely abstract, but when you look a little further, you can see that it's realism, it's surrealism, it's abstract. It's clearly a very unique take on painting. And I love the way, at first read, then you see the man's face, and then you see the woman's face, and then you see the arms. And I like the way he's incorporated a number of ideas about the ticking. So there's a lot, and speaking with him at the opening, I know there's a lot of symbolism in this piece. You've got the Man in Ticking Fabric Shirt that speaks to what you would say is the white areas and kind of that shirt that the arms are enfolding the woman. It also applies to the watch that is on his arm, which kind of takes you a while to find. And it's so interesting. I think if this piece was in your home or in your office, you could look at it 1,000 times and you would always find something new. And I know that John said that he was trying to accomplish something where if you looked at a certain area, it almost seems like the arms moved. I can't say I exactly saw that, but I thought that was a wow, what a goal to even strive for, to do that. And I really feel like he has developed this incredible signature style with this piece, and I guess with his current body of work that's so unique and really should find its way into museums, I think. And so congratulations go to him. And I think that finishes my comments on the show. And again, it was just absolutely beautiful. If you don't mind, can I just mention a few of the other pieces?
Yes.
I'm not going to really say much about them, but there were some pieces I just wanted to comment. So the first one is by Inka Brown, and it was called Grid. It's a laser cut felt sort of construction, I guess you would say. And I was very intrigued when I saw this online, and when I saw it in person, that continued. It's I found it innovative and so interesting the way it was constructed with the different levels and the perspectives that you found in it, and the way that she used a very limited color palette in blues. Really nice. The next piece is by Will Gibson, and that's Allie's Magnolia, and it's an archival pigment print. Again, man, that was such a strong composition. The black and white, that gorgeous magnolia bloom that was just absolutely stunning. Just a really gorgeous piece. Then we have Cecilia Kaiser. She had two pieces, 17 seconds until donut time and Happiness in a Cup. Cecilia, I feel, is really developing her signature style. Her compositions are strong. Her color use is beautiful. And we have Janet Lee and her Portrait of a Pomegranate. I was fascinated by that piece when I first saw it, and somehow I expected that to be a quite small piece, but it was actually a fairly sizable piece, and I loved it in person. I thought it was gorgeous. And then we have John Lee with his piece Intimacy, and that was such an interesting composition. The figurative aspect, the geometric aspect, the limited palette, very strong, very strong. Glenn Maxian with Beachways. This was soft pastel, and it was just dappling the light, and it was just such a lovely scene of people on the beach and the kids, just lovely. Billy Morrow Way. This piece was online only, so I did not get to see it in person. It's called Reliance. It's an oil painting. I really wished I would have had a chance to see that piece. I thought it was such an interesting artwork, and I would really love to see it in person. Super strong composition, and the colors are gorgeous, and clearly there's a lot of symbolism in that piece. And then last is Ed Whitmore's Dead Bee, which is an oxidized iron, copper, and bronze metal effects paint on just a huge slab of chiseled camphor wood, and that is just like what a gorgeous piece of wood. And then the way that he has carved that and created the patination and the colors, just gorgeous. So I wanted to make sure those all got a little shout out.
And also, do you want to talk about your own project, the Skylift project, for a second?
Thank you. Yes. Just briefly, I founded a global art project in March of this year called Lift the Sky. And really, it's kind of a counterpoint to all the bad news and all the negativity that we are constantly hearing and bombarded with. I'm an internal optimist, and I believe that people are good, and while not everything is perfect, and I'm not a Pollyanna, I would like to see that there be more uplifting and inspiring things that are getting attention. So I got the idea to ask artists from around the world to create an artwork which answers the question, what's your message to the world? And right now we have about 170 artists signed up from 13 countries, and we are seeing a variety of messages, a lot of universal messages of love, peace, hope, kindness, joy. Then we are seeing a number of environmental messages, some messages of deeply personal healing, quite a variety actually. My message is you are a miracle, and that's what I believe. I believe everyone is a miracle. My goal is for people to see these installations and just be like, wow, it's so just incredible that all these people would do this. But then that they will also really connect with and resonate with one or more of the individual pieces. We have artists who are glass artists, jewelry artists, photographers, painters, fiber artists, mixed media, collage. I mean, you name it, who are making pieces. And if you're an artist, I invite you. And very simply, you can go to liftthesky.com, and everything you need is there. And then from there, you can also reach out to me with any questions. But thank you, Angelica. I appreciate you letting me talk about that.
And Julie, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. I mean, you were a week early finishing the jewelry. You were just working with us all the way. I really thank you very much. I hope we'll be really good partners in the future.
Thank you.
And before I leave, I really want to thank all the artists who submitted to our show, especially the ones who were joined into the show. And as Julie said, unfortunately, for space limitations, we could only accept a certain number, even if there were many, many wonderful works that were submitted. And with that, thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure.
My pleasure as well. Thank you.